Welcome to Two Chicks and a Horror Flick, a weekly horror movie review podcast. I'm Tawny Ray.
And I'm Felicia Connor. Subscribe to get new episodes every Wednesday. We dive into trivia, drink a little whiskey, and of course, give our no BS opinions.
Join our Discord server or message us on social media to talk all things scary.
And if you like the show, consider supporting us on Patreon.
You can find all these links on our website, twochicksandahorrorflick.com. Thanks for listening.
Now let's get scared.
Hello, Felicia and everybody. Welcome to today is the last day of 2021.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to try my damnedest to get this episode out same day. Might come out on January 1st. Either way, we've done it. We've made it. Here we are. Felicia, how the hell are you?
I am doing good. I'm doing good. I am happy to be here with you today. For those of you who don't know, I'm just going to launch right into it. I know we kind of said, oh, we're taking a winter break, and we did have that planned. Sorry. We did have that planned because Tawny had some travel and it was hard to schedule things. But thank God that we had that planned because I got COVID the Monday before Christmas. I started feeling sick the Thursday, I think the 17th, but Monday tested positive, like the 20th, 21st, whatever that day was. Guys, I got COVID so bad. I legit thought I was going to die at times. There were times where I was lying there and I was like, this will be my last breath. I know it sounds funny, but literally, because the fever and the hard to breathe and everything and having days and days of it, I literally was like, this is my last breath. I have to be okay with it. Everyone will be fine. And then for an hour, I'd feel good. Oh, I'm going to feel good. And then it was down and up and down. So I still have a little bit of a cough. I'm going to try to mute my clearing of the throats. But I feel I am at the tail end of it. Broke the fever. Feeling, damn it, feeling much better. So happy. My one daughter, my middle daughter, didn't get it. And I think it's because she had it in the past. But because I didn't know. She just came to me once. It's like, I can't taste or smell. And because she was fine, I thought she was kind of just being a teen, being dramatic. But I guess she was like, no, I really couldn't. So she didn't get it. But my oldest daughter brought it home from college. That's what happened. She came home. She tested first, then TT, then my husband. But all of them, they were sick for a day and were better.
Yeah, it's been 2 fucking weeks for you?
2 fucking weeks. I was in the ER. I had to, monitor my oxygen levels at home. It was I just felt like people were fucking sick of me. People, my mom would ask me every day, are you feeling any better? I'm not fucking better. I'm not better. Stop reminding me I'm not better. No, I'm just kidding, Mom. Just kidding, Mom. But, it was crazy. So I'm glad we had that time off. And I'm super thankful to Tawny because even yesterday, it makes you feel depressed too. I'm probably just being sick that long.
For sure. Yeah.
I felt so depressed yesterday. Fuck, I was just, and so Tawny was super cool. I was like, dude, let's do it tomorrow. I'll edit tomorrow. I'll do my best. And so I was super grateful.
Why not? Again, I was like, if it takes us a couple more days to get the episode out, it doesn't have to go out on the 31st. It'd be cool. But does it actually fucking matter? No. That's a self-imposed deadline, I
think people would just be happy to hear from us. Oh, they are still alive.
I know, we're here. we everything's fine. Yeah, I totally,
how about you?
I feel for you, dude, because I was also checking in a lot, making sure you were cool, making sure you're feeling okay. But I totally get what you mean. You want to feel better so fucking bad, so you want to stop telling people that you don't fucking feel better. So I tried to refrain from asking you a lot. I was like, I'm just going to let her be sick and leave it alone because I would be I was frustrated. I was secondhand frustrated for you. I was like, Jesus Christ, dude. Why are you not feeling better?
Yeah.
I
was grateful. Christmas morning, I had a good 2 hours where I felt like I could watch the kids open presents and stuff like that. And they were really happy. And then I was out the rest of the day, you know? So, I was grateful for that. And I'm grateful for today.
Me too. I'm glad to be recording again. It actually has been for fucking ever. I think this is the longest we've gone without talking to each other or recording in our entire relationship. And it was not cool. I did not like it.
No, it was weird. It was like this weird parallel universe that I didn't enjoy either.
Yeah. It was very sad and lonely. And I mean, it wasn't lonely because, you know, but lonely from you. And I missed you and I missed talking about stuff. And I just was like, I want to do this so bad. But I get you. We had to wait.
No, when I was laying there almost dead, I thought to myself, what is it that I truly, truly, truly love and enjoy? Like, what is it that's the most important to me if I was to take my last breath right now? And it truly was, I want to make sure that you and my husband and my children, so the people I love, feel loved and cared for by me. And I want to keep doing this podcast. Those are like two things. Sorry. I'm sorry if I clear my throat. Those are like two things that were really like, these were things that I would want to continue doing. Because I was laying there feverish, contemplating all the contemplations of life. Breath. Yes. And those are the two things. And then something else I would love to do is write a book. But, you know, even that wasn't like if I was dying and I hadn't done it, I would be devastated. The most important thing was like that I had experiences with the people I love. That's what I want to make sure that I do a lot more of. Yeah. I don't know. This is a little random thought there. How about you, Tawny? How are you?
A great segue, but we'll wait so that I can also talk about my medical woes and why neither one of us has been very present or been able to do anything like online or together. So I also fucking had a thing. I got iritis, which I don't know how many of you saw. I posted some stuff about it on my Instagram, but on my Instagram story, so it's gone now. But I got inflammation of the iris. So basically like just one day, it was like, 3 weeks ago, probably now, 3.5 weeks ago, something like that. I don't know, on Friday. It was the Friday before I was supposed to be off, and we were supposed to go to Cancun with Jade's family. We had like a whole week trip to go to Cancun that has been planned for like 6 to 8 months or something. And my eyes were bugging me, and they were really red, and they hurt. They didn't hurt yet. They were really red. They were really, bloodshot. And then that started on, I think, like Thursday night. They were kind of irritated. I kind of just rubbed them. I felt like I had something in my eye, whatever. Woke up Friday, super bloodshot. It started to hurt, I think, and then I went to the urgent care because I was like, I can't get into an actual place, and we have to leave on Monday for Cancun. So I got to go see somebody about it, and Jade made me go to the urgent care, which is shocking. Usually I'm like the first person to go seek medical help, but I don't know, I was in this like, I'm just trucking along. Like, I'm just trying to pretend like everything's fine and I'm going to ignore anything that's getting in my way of like this vacation. Like, I'm off work. It's happening. We had planned to record with the podcast on Elm Street for Martyrs. And like, so all of this, I'm just trying to like shut her out. I'm like, everything's fine. Totally cool. So Jade's like, you need to go to the urgent care. Like, go do it now. So I was like, Jade, how am I going to do that? I'm at work. I was like clocked into work. He's like, fucking clock out and go to the urgent care. So I did. Whatever. Thank God he is watching out for me too. So I went. They didn't know what the hell was going on. Saturday, woke up and was, it was like before my eyes hurt when I shifted focus and looked like at shit really close up versus far away.
Yeah.
Yeah. And on Saturday, I woke up and I took a shower and I was kind of like washing my face, and I could tell the pupil and the iris part of my eye was really tender, like over my eyelid. But the whites of my eye, the sides, didn't hurt like that. Then we went out into the sun and the sunlight hurt my eyes. And the urgent care had told me, if this gets worse, you need to go try to see an ophthalmologist on Saturday, see if you can get somebody on call. And if you can't do that, go to the emergency room. So I also went to the fucking emergency room on Saturday. This was like, weeks ago now. But I went in there. They also fucking didn't really know what was happening. They gave me antibiotic eye drops, whereas the people before gave me allergy eye drops. I don't have allergies. This has never happened to me before. So everybody's just fucking confused, doesn't know what's happening. But I started taking the antibiotic eye drops. Then Sunday night, over the weekend, I noticed that shit started looking hazy. Like when I was looking at bright lights, it was like looking through fog, kind of.
Oh, yeah.
It was like milky. And I could see kind of like hazy halos around the light spots. And that's like, I think it's not a good sign. I was trying to do no Googling. I was just letting Jade do the Googling and like giving me the information.
Someone's got to Google though. Someone needs to know just in case.
But he was panicking me. He also was the reason why I went to the ER, because he was like looking up stuff and he's like, if you don't get this taken care of, it can like, and we thought it was something else. He was like, it can damage your eyes in like 48 hours. And I was like, shit, panicking, because like you do not want to fuck around with your eyeballs. You do not, because it can go bad and you don't want to lose your sight, right? So I'm just like panicking. Yeah. The whole thing was very anxiety inducing. Monday, I got into an ophthalmologist and he was like, you have iritis. It's just inflammation of the iris, which is why it hurts to shift focus and go out into the light, because your irises are like moving to open and close your pupil. And he put me on dilation drops. So I looked high as fuck for like 2 weeks. I mean, I looked high before because my eyes were really red. Then I looked really high, like I was on hard drugs for like weeks because my pupils were huge. And it was just like a fucking ordeal. And
Tawny's rolling at work.
God, I kept telling people just because I was like, I know this is weird and I look weird. And I just need you to know I'm on dilation drops. Like I kept just trying to tell people. But so that was like a whole fucking, I mean, I'm still doing it. I'm still on the eye drops. I think I'm just about done. I have to go back in on Monday for like my 5th, maybe my 6th fucking ophthalmologist appointment. Like it's insane, but it's better. Thank God. And I'm just hoping it doesn't come back, because the ophthalmologist, like one of his first questions was like, has this happened to you before? And I was like, no. And he just keeps talking about like, hopefully there's not a resurgence, like, or a reoccurrence of it. Hopefully it doesn't come back. I was like, I just didn't even think that was a possibility. Ugh, fucking
yeah, you're like,
scary.
Stop planting that seed.
Yeah, I'm like
that. Couldn't you have said, just to get me into that type of zone, this will never come back? Just kidding. I know we can't say that, but at least plant the seed that I will never get this again.
Yeah. The moral of the story is here for everybody, not that I'm a medical professional and don't take my medical advice because I'm not one, but I'm just going to say that if you are having an eye emergency, try to get into an ophthalmologist first. Because now I feel like I went to the urgent care, went to the ER, and I'm going to owe a fuck ton of money just to not have either of those people
know what
was happening. Yeah. But I walked into the ophthalmologist and he was like, you have iritis. Like it was like, yep, we know what's happening. I know how to treat that. Easy peasy. Goodbye.
But you didn't mention that you didn't go to Cancun.
Oh yeah, we didn't go to Cancun. That was part of the reason. You're right. It was part of the reason why we didn't go, because I was fucking panicked, obviously. I'm sure some of our listeners know because I talk about it a lot, but I have like health related anxiety. So I was just, super scared. And I did not want to leave the country and be in a different fucking country for 7 days, like not sure what was happening with my eyes. Traveling already stresses me out just because of it breaks up my routine, which makes me more anxious. And then I get like just worried about everything. I don't know. It's like a whole thing. On top of that, there was like some violence happening down in Cancun. So we like between those two things, we were like, yeah, let's not go, which was a bummer. I was really looking forward to some sandy beach, warm life action, but it is what it is. And I do feel glad that I didn't go, because I had 3 fucking appointments with the ophthalmologist in the time that we would have been in Cancun.
Yeah, I fear getting sick in a foreign country just because, once I went to France, I was in France and I got a bladder infection, and trying to go to like, and it's not the first language, trying to explain like what is wrong with me and what I need. And then, they're telling me, oh, use this, but you don't even know what it says. like on the thing. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I don't know. That's like a small thing, let alone something where you don't know what's going on. I remember I went to New York to visit my friend and got pink eye somewhere on the subway or something, but my eye hurt so bad. And at least, you know, it was New York and takes my health care and all of that, but still had to find a place. And it was still kind of unnerving because I wasn't home. Being in a totally foreign country, that's scary to me.
Yeah. And who fucking knows? It's like, how do you know your insurance even works? I mean, I'm sure there's something there in place, but it's like,
you have to figure it out.
Yeah. And you don't speak the language. I mean, just the whole thing was like, I cannot do that. Like, we decided while I was sitting in the ER on Saturday, let's fucking cancel this trip, because the people were like, everybody I talked to medically up until that point were sort of like shocked. You know, I was like, well, I want to get this taken care of before we leave. And they're like, when do you leave? I'm like, Monday. They're like, oh. Like, that was enough for me to be like, yeah, fuck, I don't want to mess
So
with this.
everybody that heard our Raw episode, I know that they have the question. Anyone that heard that episode, Tawny, be honest, did you let someone lick your eyeball?
I knew this would come back up. I knew it. No, I did not. I'm shocked this didn't happen then when I did that.
Right.
Like some 15 something years ago. Yeah, I have no idea. No, they don't know either what caused it. I mean, there's no way.
It just happens.
Yeah. I mean, it can be caused by a shit ton of stuff, like bacterial infection, a parasite, an injury, like anything. But it's also, he said it's like an autoimmune thing. And I have had Graves' disease, which is an autoimmune thing. And people who have one autoimmune disorder are like more predisposed to have others. So that's kind of my guess, is that I was predisposed and I was ultra stressed in the couple weeks leading up to this, just prepping to not be at work, lots of stuff. I mean, it was like, I think that did not help. I don't know if it caused it. It certainly did not help. You know what I mean? Like, whatever was happening, it just like super, super inflamed my eyeballs. But anyway, it's all good now. I think I'm on the mend. Hopefully I never get it. If you ever have something like that, go to an ophthalmologist, for the love of God, for the love of the gods.
The love of the gods. All of them. We're calling in all of them for this eye thing.
No matter what you believe, go to an ophthalmologist.
I'm glad your balls are better.
Thank you. Yeah, and then it was Christmas, obviously, right? So we were already like, the back part of December is a no-go. We're going to be doing too much, gone for too much. So it's been quite a December.
Yeah, woo. December came in heavy, hot and heavy. Yes. Oh, that sounds fun. Hot and heavy sounds fun, and it wasn't fun.
No, it wasn't like seductive. It was
like agonizing.
Yeah. Terrifying.
Terrifying, torturous, and agonizing.
All of those things, yeah. God. So maybe that's a good segue into reflections on 2021 as a whole. How was it? I mean, I feel like you were already kind of going there when you were like, you know, what's really important to me? Yeah. How was your year, Alicia?
So I would say year overall was a good year, because it was a good year. It was a difficult half of the year, but I also learned a lot from those difficulties. So we bought a house. That's really cool, and should be ready hopefully, you know, May, June next year. So
anytime.
Can't wait for that house. So we bought a house, which was something we wanted to do, and it was huge for us to actually make that leap. So super exciting. Had a blast with you every single month, blast with our guests every single month. Was so much fun with two chicks, saw some great movies. I do feel like this, my husband said for him it went slow. I literally feel like it went by so fast.
Me too.
I bought a house, there's stuff that happened in the middle, and now we're here. Like, I don't know. It was just like super fast. So, but that was a fun thing. I did a lot of my personal spiritual development stuff, which has been great. And I feel like I've come really far with that. And then with this sickness, look, I don't know if everything happens for a reason or not. I don't note, but I do believe that difficulties can just, I don't know, help open you to new things or seeing things in a new way. And I was feeling, I know I mentioned on the show even like, November, December, I'm floating out of bed like every day. I like really hit this next level of, so I was meditating every day and doing some type of spiritual development, like literally feeling blissful every day. And then if I was feeling bad, because of course that happens, I'm able to turn it around quickly. And then I was sick.
Yeah.
And felt like I lost all of that. And there were moments where I could really do like the whole Eckhart Tolle living in the now for a moment. And that was pretty much when I was like, well, it's really out of my hands. I'm out the door.
Yeah.
So I was able to kind of chill. But I became very depressed and I felt like it was very difficult for me. And so I just realized, no, there's just some more development I have to do. It really opened my eyes too to the levels of experiences that other people are having. Like there's people that are experiencing chronic illness and pain, and how hard it is when you're not feeling well to really have that, sense of peace. Not impossible. I'm not saying it's hopeless or impossible. I'm just saying there's just a next level of development that I need to look into to be able, just everyone is always has more to grow and develop. I'm just saying, I realized, okay, there's more I need to work on for that. I lost my uncle and I lost my friend and I lost my godmother. And that was all very hard. And it was really wonderful to reconnect with family and be there for them. And there was just, again, a lot that came out of that as well. Personally, developing to really try to be able to master my emotions and my inner world. And so ultimately did a lot of work around that. My oldest got straight A's in college, so that's fantastic. And I'm really excited for 2022. I don't know, I said a lot of things, but I feel like overall it was an enlightening year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
There was a lot, man. Like, because I also feel like I keep feeling like 2021 is the year that wasn't. Like,
ooh, yeah.
I feel like we shot straight out of 2020 to here. And here we are. And so the entire year, I don't know. I also feel like it went by in a blink. Like I feel like it was just January. But when I go back and I think about like what we were talking about in January and stuff, it does feel like it's kind of further away than it is.
Yeah. When you look back at like the episodes and stuff like that, and I was like, oh shit, I thought that was like 2020.
Me too. See, 2020 and 2021 are forever, I think, going to blend into the same long year in a way.
Yeah. And I don't know about you, but I was thinking about this going into 2021. Sorry. See, I forgot 2021 happened. It's the last day of it today. Went into it not with any, these are the things I want to accomplish or anything like that. It was literally a focus on, I just hope that this COVID thing relaxes, things open up. Like I was just looking forward to kind of like living.
Yeah.
And maybe that's why they blended even. I don't know.
I think you're probably right about that because I think I did the same thing. There wasn't really like, I might have done like a little bit of, like visioning or like, where do I want to go? What do I want to do? But I think I fell off immediately, which I think most people, that is kind of how it goes. You set a New Year's resolution and it's easy to just forget right away. I think I picked a word. I don't even remember what it was. It might have been like flow or something. I'd have to go back and listen to our other episode to know because I'm sure I talked about it then. And I feel like if it was flow, then I probably did an okay job of it because I also kind of didn't have any like plans in a way. I think I had some, but again, I sort of just found myself being pushed into the flow of whatever was happening in the year. And like, I just was there for it, I guess, in a very neutral way. So I feel like 2021 has been like a year of hibernation for me. Like
Oh, yeah.
I don't feel like much happened for me personally. I feel like it just was like mainly me hibernating is the best way to put it. Like I've just kind of stayed inside, did my thing. Like, you know, we recorded a lot consistently throughout the year. And that was that. Like, I don't know. It's weird. So and then I feel like the back part of the year got so fucking busy. Like the busiest I've ever been with work. And that was rough. I think there was a lot of stress and anxiety for me personally in the back part of the year. And so I'm just going into the next month and hopefully the next year in a way that is like, okay, how do I lower that? How do I lower that stress and anxiety and sort of get back to just a place of peace and I don't know, like some semblance of a schedule or like normalcy. I just still feel like I don't have that yet, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. So that's...
I saw this thing. It reminded me of what you were saying. Someone posted it. Sorry that I'm not giving you credit. I don't remember who or what it was, but there was this, everybody just do not say 2020 is my year. This is my year. Let's just ease into it slowly. Or 2022, sorry, 2022. This is my year. Just ease into it slowly. Let's check it out. Let's test the waters.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. We don't make any commitments yet to 2022.
Yeah. Let's just go into it and see. That's
how I'm feeling
into that year. Oh, interesting. Yeah. So my year is enlightening, and yours is hibernation. I totally see that. I totally feel it.
I did a lot of hiding from the world in a way. Like I wasn't super present on social media. I don't know. I think I had, again, a hibernating, semi-apathetic year where it was like, I just wanted to be at home and not be doing anything, which is weird because I am an extrovert. I do get energy from talking with people and like being around people and stuff. It's just, I think after 2 years of, you know, a lot of negativity, like a lot of negative shit, a lot of bullshit. It's like, the rallying is harder than I think it's ever been for me. And even socially interacting with people is like a different ballgame now. I find myself much more anxious, much more, or much less confident. Like I joke about this. I've joked about this for the last like year and a half that we've been doing this podcast. But I really do think my social skills and ability has taken a hit from not interact, like just the being out of practice about it, you know what I mean? So that like leaves me even less wanting to leave my house and go and interact with people and stuff. So I am just hoping to get back to some kind of like interacting with people, but I like that idea. Let's just ease into it, okay? Let's not have any expectations. I like the not having any expectations, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I agree.
Whatever happens, happens, and it's just good. Whatever it is, it's going to be fine. We're going to be fine, everybody. It's been a rough long year that bled into 2 years. And we're all just doing the best. They should just be grouped as 2 years. We each get to take 1 year off of our age. Oh, I agree with that. Like, it just got put on hold, you know? Yes.
Yeah, skip... 2021 or just 2020, 2021 are 1 year. And so technically in January, I will be, I don't even know how old I am. I think I'm 44.
I'll be 30 again, which is totally cool with me.
Yeah, that's a fun one.
Yeah.
I always, hold on a second, 2022 minus 19. I literally do forget how old I am. Because I don't know, just, okay. So, I'll be 44 again. Instead of 45.
Instead of 45. I'm down with that. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, you just mentioned how you had chosen a word, and I'm curious if you have a word. I've never done that before. I remember you talking about it last year. I think it was flow, but I had never really thought about that. But recently I have been, just the past couple of days, the word that has been coming to me is simplicity. Just simplicity.
Dude, I swear to God, I knew what you were going to say before you said it.
Really?
Yes.
Oh shit. That's awesome.
Yes. I feel that too. Yeah. I'm sorry. Keep going.
No, I'm excited. No, I just, simplicity. So like, I was thinking about the things I want to do and really whittling down, like, what is it I want? How do I want to spend my time? I want to continue with the spiritual development that just brings life into my soul. I love it. And it's almost like not something I need to focus on now. It's like a natural thing that I do now every day. But the things that I really want to whittle it down, and I'm open also to flow and surrender. That has been the most powerful thing for me at the end of this year was just like when I get all wrapped up into like, oh, what am I, you know what? The universe has my back. It'll come to me. And it does. So, continuing to integrate that, but with simplicity, what are the things I really within a 365-day year would like to achieve? I would like to finish a book. I would like to continue growing 2 chicks in a horror flick.
Yeah.
And the spiritual development. And really that's that. And however that shows. And I do have like read 1 book a month. But again, all of these things too, these are just things that would be really fun and beneficial. I can see the fun and benefit of all of them. And if something happens and I don't read a book a month or whatever, I'm just going to flow with it. I'm going to live the life that wants to be lived through me. And that's what I'm going to do. So I have these things that I really enjoy these things. So I want to make sure I'm not neglecting these things, the things I just mentioned. I enjoy those. So I don't want to neglect those and to focus on other things. But if I don't reach what I'm thinking, that's okay. I'm just going to flow. I'm going to live the life that wants to be lived through me.
Yeah. Oh, I like that a lot. Yeah. I agree with that. I feel like I've kind of been feeling that way with my work. I do want to simplify. There's just like a lot, I feel like, in the day-to-day that has ended up like stressing me. I'm not usually like a person who stresses about work. You know, like I usually am like, whatever, once I'm done, I leave it at the door. It's not a problem. But there's just a lot. And I think that's what it is that it's gotten out of hand. It's not simple anymore, that we don't have like simple things to be doing. So like I am kind of committing to simplicity there to sort of make all of our lives easier, mine included. And I agree with the flow. And as you were saying that, something like occurred to me that I forgot. I forgot that this happened this year, but we looked for a house all through the summer.
Yep, that's right.
We wanted to buy a house. That was the absolute opposite of flow. Like I was the most resistant. Like, oh man, I was really trying to fucking muscle that into my life, and it did not work, obviously. But this is something that is like, it's just something that is a goal of mine. Like I want to buy a fucking house. And I'm being so like adamant about it, but I just really want it to happen. And I don't know where that leaves us. You know, like I don't know that we'll be able to afford a house here. We might have to move somewhere else again to buy a house. Who fucking even knows though if that's going to happen again, where we go and move and then we like get priced out of the market. Like, but that's like one of my things that I want to do is I want to buy a house. And hopefully I can find a way to do it that is in some sort of flow of instead of me just like forcing that to happen when it shouldn't happen. But it's just, I don't know. It sounds stupid. And I'm sure people who own a house are probably like, bitch, it's not that great. But there's something.
I don't think so.
Yeah, not anymore because everybody's fucking selling it for 3 times as much as they bought it for.
Bitch, it's not that big of a deal.
Well, I'm sure there's a lot of downsides. Yeah. I'm sure there's a lot of shit that I'm not considering, but I I just want to. It just calls to me. I want to buy a house. I want to have a house. I want to maintain a house. I don't know. It's just like, it's been one of my goals for a really long time.
So you put that out there. You just said it very clearly. You know why you want it. You can feel yourself getting it. You're going to get it. Just be open to how it comes.
Yeah.
Just go to, like you said, flow. However it comes, if it's like, for example, we are not going to do a new build. That's too expensive. We want something pre-made that we can or that's already been lived in. So we can just move right in. We don't have to do the landscaping, blah, 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 blah. No. We weren't finding it. Fine. Oh, maybe it's not for us. And then the realtor was like, you want to look at some new builds? And we were like, okay, all right, let's look. And it was actually perfect. It was the perfect, option for us. And at first though, when we started, we were like, no, that's not what we want. So just however it's going to be coming into your life, just be welcome to all the different ways that could come into your life.
Yeah. Yeah. If that means happening upon something here, moving again, I'm not opposed. I've kind of planted the seed with Jade about like, what about Detroit? But what about the cheapest fucking place in the United States to buy a house? I don't know. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I am trying to just be open to whatever. I just have a really hard time. I have a dual thing inside of me. One part of me that wants everything. Like, I really value ease in my life. Like, I want shit to just be cool, peaceful. Yeah. And then the other part of me, which is like, I'm going to fucking make this happen. And those two things are always at odds. And that's just my life. That's just how I live.
That's going to be an exciting adventure. Yeah, Steve and I had to move to Arizona to be able to buy a house. If we were still in California, there's no way, or else we'd be living in a part of California we don't want to live in.
Want to be in. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And we did it, and we made the move, and it worked out. So, and we love it here. So yeah, you have a lot of fun adventure. I can't wait to see. I hope you're my neighbor.
I wouldn't mind going down there because it's warm and I like warmth, but it seems like it's too expensive there now too, everywhere. It's like
there's still spots. There's still pockets. But it is going up. Yeah, it is going up, but there are still pockets, and it's growing a lot though. So there are pockets that aren't built up yet that you can still find good deals.
Affordable things. Yeah. I will say just in 2021, best things that happened to me, obviously the podcast is the highlight, I feel like, of the year. And I have recently discovered that I'm making a confession here that I suddenly have a love and an obsession with romance books. It's literally all I've been doing is reading.
You came out of the secret. You shared your secret with everybody. Your romance novel secret.
I did. And if you're shocked, congrats, me too. I don't know what's happened to me. I don't know who I am. Somebody kidnapped me, replaced me, body snatched me. This is literally like the last genre of anything that I've ever been interested in my life. But here we are. I don't know what's happened.
Are you going to share how much you've read?
Oh, God.
Come on, it's awesome. It's inspiring.
I mean, a fuck ton, especially compared to the fact that I read next to nothing. I don't think I read a whole book, actually, the entire year until November, where I read one horror book that Paige recommended to me that I didn't love. And then I started reading, I don't even know. Oh, yeah, I remember what. Yeah, it was movies. The thing that kicked it all off was Love Hard on Netflix. I recommend it, with Jimmy O Yang and Nina Dobrev.
During Christmas.
Very fun. Did you like it?
Yeah, it was fun.
I liked it. It was predictable, but it was just so fun. Like, it was a fun, funny movie, and I love those two people. So, and Heather McMahon is in there too as her like friend. Love her. So the whole thing was, I don't know, very fun. Kicked off this it just spiraled me down into this romance world. I've read just in December, I think, because I haven't been tracking really super well, but I've read a ton. And just in December, I think I've read 10 books. Something like 3,000 pages.
So jealous, dude. That is amazing. How long does it take you to read a book? What is your readings like? What is your routine that you can get through that many books?
Well, I've been off a lot, right? Like I think that helps just in the last like week and a half at least. And I mean, dude, like I wake up and read for like a little bit while I'm laying in bed. Get up, go about my business, whatever. And I've just been most of it is that I've replaced all the time that I would have been spending watching TV and movies with reading time.
Gotcha. Okay.
So I usually spend a fuck ton of time watching stuff. It's just now that I've kind of flipped it to reading instead. So it's pretty much like, while I'm doing lunch, if I'm off, it's like all fucking day. I mean, like literally all day. And then if I'm working or whatever, it's like over lunch and then in the afternoons and evenings, like after we make food and eat and stuff. So it's a lot of reading. I'm sure at some point I'm going to hit a wall and I'm going to be like, okay, I'm done with this for now. I'm going to go back to watching stuff. It's just that nothing on is like interesting me at the moment. There's no like TV or movies that I'm like dying to watch. So I don't know.
I love it. I really want to read at least one book a year. I
was like, wow. That's a low
I have a
bar.
very, very, very high goal. No, one book a month. That's what I meant to say. Because there are these things that bring me so much joy, and they have throughout my entire life, that for some reason, I think about it like, why don't I do that every day when it brings me joy every day? You know what I mean? It's like reading, meditation, writing does as well. Like when I'm in a zone and I'm just writing it, that feels so good. And these things bring me so much joy. And they're the things that I always push out of the way for other things first. It's so weird. I just was thinking about that. Anyways, I loved reading and I used to read so much. And so I want to do at least one book a month because I don't want to set this goal where I'm doing like one a week and then I keep missing it. And then, I feel like a failure and all that shit. So one a month and with a goal that would be awesome to do more, but at least one.
Yeah. I think it's a really great goal. Cause especially I think you read really long books. Like the books I've been reading like really aren't that long. So it's easier to get through. And also a lot of the times they're wrapped up by the end of that book. Like there's not a continuing story, you know what I mean? So it's like, once you finish that book, like you finish the story as it is. And so I feel like it's easy to keep going that way. But you read like long books. And so that would be harder to pull off like one a week. I think I'm going to set a goal for 3 a month and see where that leaves me. That's 36 a year. I've never actually set a reading goal like this before, but I think I'm going to keep it up on some level. And I mean, 10 versus 3 is it's a good low. I don't want to be doing it constant. I mean, like I have to live my life. You know what I mean?
Do you though? Who said reading constantly is not living? I was just kidding.
That's a very good question. But yeah, we'll see. I'm like, I think I can do 3. And also I just want to say, first of all, if you are a romance book reader, like hit me up. I'm not quite ready to talk at large with people about what I'm reading. But if you also read romance, hit me up, send me messages, give me your recommendations, and we'll talk. I just had no fucking clue how big this subgenre is. I am shocked. I feel like I stumbled onto, it's just weird, to feel like you kind of have heard a lot, seen a lot, especially when it comes to genres of things, right? Mm-hmm. Fucking, you have no clue. If you've never looked into, you should go just look up the different subgenres of romance books. I'm telling you, there's 100 million. It is crazy. It's so big. It's got to be like the biggest book, right? I mean, like
that's a lot. Yeah, I haven't looked it up. There are so many genres though, because I know when I was writing, one question, what genre is your book in? You can't just say fiction. It's right. Like a certain type of fiction. And there's just so many different ones. But yeah, I would imagine with romance, because you have all of the typical, you have like all the genres, like if you're science fiction or horror or whatever, and then you could wrap that into romance. You could add romance on top of it. It would be its own, a totally own romance subgenre.
And it's huge. Like when you go to like Barnes and Noble and you look at the books on the shelves, like horror is like 2 shelves and or like 2, side by side shelves. Romance is like,
Rose.
8 of those shelves times 2. There's like 16. So it's like, it's just huge. But the other thing that I wanted to just say is like, I think after, mentioning like 2020 and 2021, I'm so not feeling anything like dark or, anxiety inducing or whatever. Like none of that is appealing to me in this moment, which again is so far actually from horror. But I found it difficult to watch or consume anything that is not fluffy and feel good. And there's something that's actually part of the genre as a whole. I did not know this before I started reading them, but romance books by definition have a happily ever after. If it doesn't have that, then I think it's considered a love story.
Oh.
So again, reading these books, there's going to be a happily ever after. So you don't have to deal with like the emotional turmoil of this not ending up well. You know what I mean? And there's just something about that I think is appealing to my soul and my emotions in this moment. And so I think, I'm part of a book club with Paige that Paige started, and the other people in the book club have also been romance readers far longer than me. And we were talking about this and they were like, I agree. I think that's what it is like, it's just nice to read something that's easy to read, that feels good and has a great, happy fucking ending because that's just what we need right now.
We're going to have to be like 2 chicks in a glittery sunset or 2 chicks in a lust scene or 2 chicks.
Yeah. It'd be 2 chicks and a steamy scene with a guy with gray eyes who's 1,000 times bigger than a woman. That's the trope. That's what it is over and over again. Freakishly large man, gray eyes, teeny tiny, small, petite, almost childlike woman. Kind of gross, very weird.
2 chicks and a man with gray, and an extra large man with gray eyes. That's funny. I love that. Since we're talking about books and reading and writing, I think that all equals. I do want to shout out. Okay, there's this organization called Autocrit, AUTOCRIT, and it's like a writers community, and they did and they're going to do it again, I'm sure. Since we have horror lovers here, they did a program called Nightmare Fuel that I just finished yesterday. And you have lifetime access to the materials, but it's a course on writing a terrifying horror novel. And I have to say, Gareth, who's the teacher, it was excellent. It was absolutely excellent. The content was amazing. It's totally go at your own pace. They do have weekly live lessons, but if you miss it, I didn't even make one of them. They have it inside of the course, you can access it. Really, really good. It gets you thinking about things and like picking things apart. And then they had like guest authors who write horror that would talk about how they started out and all of this. It was such a good course. And I take a lot of fucking courses. This was such a great and fun course. And so I highly recommend it.
I get ads for that all the time, and I've been intrigued by it. Like, there's a part of me that does feel like it would be cool to write a horror story. It's just that I fucking hate writing, and so I don't know why my brain is saying that to me. I don't know if it's something that I actually want to do or what, but I have been interested in that, so that's good to know that it's cool.
Would it be because they do, and they form it in a way where you could be writing a long novel, a short story, a screenplay, you could, a play, like whatever your thing is that you're writing. It's just really getting you into, developing that story so that it's scary. It was so good.
Yeah. I think more than anything, that is what I'm interested in, is like, what is scary? And, Jade and I have talked about this because he likes to write, and he's done a ton of like reading on writing, and that kind of research and stuff. And he was talking to me about how, maybe the fact that there's not a ton of horror novels is because like he had read or seen something somewhere that was like, horror is such a visceral experience, you know, like you really get something more out of the visuals or the sound of something like splatting or whatever, and it's a visceral reaction when you're actually seeing and hearing it rather than reading it. But I also think there's something to reading something and conjuring something up in your mind that could be way worse than what you could ever put on screen. And so I think there's pros and cons to both, but I think it does interest me, like, what is fucking universally scary and how to get in people's heads and actually make them feel that emotion of fear. Yeah.
They tell you how to do that. And so now, like, I'm, and you know, you're just as a writer in general, you're always writing down ideas, right? Every time you think of something, but they tell you, now, like, I think of something or someone's talking about something. I'm like, oh, that would be scary. Oh, and like writing down all these different things and really get you to that mindset of scaring someone. And I don't know. I disagree. Now, maybe in general, I think it's hard to scare people. Or, rewind, it's really hard to scare me. That's why when there's a really good scary movie, I'm so fucking excited because it's just hard. So I would imagine it's hard in a book too. But I grew up on reading horror, especially Stephen King, and I loved it because I was in my own world. And then I was always so nervous once it was presented to me on screen. Because once it's presented to you on screen, like if I'm looking at Signs, right, that movie Signs, if I'm reading the book, that alien can look like anything. And it's probably going to be terrifying because I've gone through the whole book before I can see it at the end. And it's going to put something together. But as a filmmaker, it better be fucking good.
Yeah.
If you're going to show it to me, it better be fucking good.
There's a lot of ways to fuck it up.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So... What else? What are some things that you've enjoyed? Could be books, movies, courses, podcasts, whatever.
Things that I've watched that I want to just recommend or throw out as like the top things. And the hard thing is, like, because the year is so long and I don't remember what actually happened through the whole thing, I don't know if I'm missing something. So as you talk, or if you remember something, like, let me know. As far as shows go, my top things that I remember were really fucking good this year were Loki. I'm sure I talked about that like 8 times in our episodes. Pen 15, which I cannot shut up about. If you have not watched Pen 15, you fucking need to. I'm telling you.
So good.
Especially if you're, I mean, like everybody. I think everybody, there's something to be gained. But there's really something about being right around my age, 30, and watching this show, because I have never seen anything more true to reality in my entire fucking life. Like, I don't think there's ever been a show created that is so spot on in terms of the time period, because I can pick out things in the show, in the like episodes. I'm like, my friend had those sheets, those like fluffy cloud sheets. My friend had those sheets. I had that poster. I had those hair clips. Like, I don't know where they source this shit. It is amazing to me. Just a feat, a work of art. I mean, it's so and so funny and also so uncomfortable because it's so true to reality. The whole thing is fucking amazing. It's an experience unlike anything I've ever watched for that reason. And I know I've made you watch it and you like it.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, it's great. Yeah, because I can see what you're saying for your time period, and they masterfully do it so it speaks to anybody who's also been a teenager, because there are things like, I just can't forget the fucking underwear one where they're wearing a thong and then they feel like totally sexified because they're wearing a thong. And all of a sudden their body is like a fucking, Playboy bunny body.
She like looks in the mirror and she's got like huge boobs with like a bunch of cleavage. Cracked me up.
Friends, like when you and your best friend, like best friends forever, and then starts to become friends with other people, and that how you just, it's so fucking good. It's really funny.
Amazing. Yeah, you're right. That's why I keep amending, like, because you don't have to have seen those same things. The themes are universal. The experiences are universal. Like, everybody experienced what they're showcasing. It's just, I think there's an added cherry on top to oh my fucking God. Because like when people try to do like 80s 90s-y stuff. I feel like it's like a contrived version of that. It's not like the fucking version of that. This is like, I swear to God, they plucked it from my brain. I mean, it's just crazy. So
no, that's
so good.
cool. I see what you're saying. Because if there was that show with all of those elements and added to that, it was all stuff from the 90s. Yes, that's when I was a freshman and growing up in high school. Then that would even be next level. More next level. Yeah. With the music and, you know, all of that sort of thing.
Yes. And yeah, the clothes.
Or the 80s. I don't really know. I was born in 77. So it's high school, 90s, whatever. Anyway, so it'd be 80.
Yeah.
Late 80s, whatever. I'm not on a quiz show.
No one's testing you.
I don't need to figure this shit out. They don't have this show, so.
Yeah. And then the last thing, just show-wise, that I want to mention that we both fucking love, obviously, is The Great.
Fuck. Yes.
It's so good.
I have such a crush on Nicholas.
Oh, me
Oh my
too.
God. That man.
Amazing.
And when it started, I didn't. You know, I was like, I liked him. I liked him as an actor, but now I'm just like, this guy.
Oh, he's amazing.
and Elle Fanning.
Yeah.
I fucking love them both. She's like my fucking spirit animal. Like, I love them so much.
What great actors and actresses in the entire show. Like, everybody's so good. The characters are good. The tone is weird. Like, I find myself having to get back kind of into the tone of it because it's so funny, but it's kind of like a dark comedy. And sometimes that can be a little iffy for me. God, I love it. It's so, so good. If you haven't watched that, you need to.
Yes. I also want to say, because I love her so much, since I mentioned Elle Fanning and Nicholas, what is his name? Holt. Nicholas Holt. Sorry, Nicholas. I'm very, very sorry. I also want to mention Belinda Bromilo. Belinda Bromilo. She plays Aunt Elizabeth.
Oh, yeah. She's really good.
Fucking love her. I had to find her and follow her on Instagram because I love her so much.
She's amazing too.
Yeah.
And then as far as like movies that stuck out to me, I wrote down like Dune and A Quiet Place 2, both of which we went to go see in theaters. I went to go see Dune twice. I don't remember if we talked about that, but I saw it with my coworkers. And then Jay didn't go with us, and I really wanted him to see it. And so we went back and watched it again in IMAX, which I highly recommend if you can still do it. I don't know if it's still in theaters, but very good. But I feel like as far as movies go, I wasn't really, like there wasn't a whole lot that stuck out to me other than a couple of the ones that we watched, which we'll talk about later. But yeah, that's kind of where nothing else like stuck out to me. What about you? What were your top things that you experienced, watched, read?
My top, I would have to say Midnight Mass. I was very pleasantly surprised with that. I enjoyed it all the way to the end. There's so many things that I start and it doesn't really get me, like capture me.
Yeah.
And I watched that all the way to the end and I really liked that. And I guess including The Haunting of Hill House, because that was something I watched this year as well. Watched it all the way to the end. Really enjoyed that. So highly recommend it. I mentioned Alice in Borderland. That was a lot of fun. And I really liked that and would recommend it. The Great is my number one. Number one. Absolutely loved it. I also loved Love on the Spectrum. So I talked about that a lot. And it's just to me, pure joy. Seeing these people that, people might say, that they have a disability and they don't see it that way at all. And they're thriving and they're looking for love and they're so honest. I just really enjoyed that show. I thought it was a beautiful show. And then, of course, and I got caught up because I took a little bit of a break. And then I got caught up with That Chapter. You've heard me say it before, but I very much enjoy That Chapter. It's a crime scene YouTube show with Michael O, and he's so enjoyable. Love it so much. I'm a patron still, so I can get those episodes early. And yeah, I think movie wise, because we have some questions from listeners. And so one movie that I really liked, I added to those questions. Other than that, I feel the same way. I mean, I watched movies and enjoyed them, I'm sure, throughout the year. But to really make an impact and be like, bam, oh yeah, oh my gosh, go see this. I guess maybe I've watched more TV. Oh, okay, that's another thing, actually. I'll recommend. It's disturbing. Fuck it. It's a horror podcast.
Yeah.
The Night Stalker on.
Oh yeah.
I just thought that was so well done, telling the story of the Night Stalker. So don't know if you can still get that and see that, but I enjoyed that one as well.
I think so, because it was one of those Netflix ones. I think it ended up. Yeah, it's still on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and one I just watched. Oh, I'm sorry. And I would recommend it. Oh, sorry. Ooh, I got all excited. I saw Vivarium. You're absolutely right. Where they're going to look for a house and they're brought to this house and there's like this psychological thing going on. I won't tell you anything else. I don't even really know how to tell you anything about it. It was so fucking weird.
Yeah. There's not anything else that you can say.
Yeah,
I did not
so
love
weird.
that one.
No, it was really, really weird. That's just something I watched recently. I mean, I enjoyed it in the sense that it kept my attention. And I think what it was saying about life and about society was interesting. But I have to say my favorite part was probably, and I won't say anything in context so people know, but have you seen it?
Yeah.
Okay. When she went into that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was interesting. I was kind of like, what's going on?
Yeah. I was like, ooh, finally. Yes.
Maybe there should have been more of that.
Yeah.
But so I did see that lately. Now I have moved into just the things I've seen recently. Okay.
Okay.
I did watch The Raincoat Killer on Netflix, which was about, this man in Korea, was it? But he killed women very grotesquely. He wore a raincoat. So I watched that and that was interesting because the killer, when they caught him, he was very vocal. So for example, like I saw the John Wayne Gacy one and, John Wayne Gacy is just like I never said that I killed those people and put them in my floorboards, yet then he'll tell you how he killed them. And, just that typical killer who's like, I didn't do it sort of thing. Well, this raincoat killer guy was like, no, maybe I did this and I'm proud. And maybe I have taught women that they shouldn't be sluts. Like it was crazy.
Jeez.
He was insane. So watch that. That's true story. But this was the one, Amazon Prime. I watched Being the Ricardos. I really liked that, about Lucy and Ricky Ricardo. And it was about it was them behind the scenes. And I just didn't know Lucy Ricardo was such a badass. She was just such fucking badass. She'd walk right in with all those executives and go, you want me? This is what I want. And this is what I need. And I had no idea. So that was a really good one, especially for all you Lucy lovers, Being the Ricardos on Amazon. And then I'm sorry, I was searching for the name. The one that I meant to talk about, 9 Perfect Strangers.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
9 Perfect Strangers on Hulu. Nicole Kidman, Melissa McCarthy, other people. Really enjoyed that. That's the one I binged, and it's a series.
Oh, okay.
I binged it. I would recommend that one. I would recommend 9 Perfect Strangers.
Okay. Good to know. I haven't watched anything really. The only thing that we finished is The Great. And Jade's making me watch Arcane, but I don't know. I don't really love it. It's like, I don't know, something about it is just not grabbing me, but that's it. Because I've been reading, obviously, for the rest of my time.
That's all you do.
Okay, so do you want to move into our Q&A?
Yeah. Yes, I do.
Okay, so we have just a few questions from listeners, friends, other podcasts. So Lorraine from Once Upon a Nightmare asked, what is the most twisted kill you've seen in a movie? And Felicia, I'm going to let you go first because I think I know.
Okay, so, okay, I'll try to be vague so that we don't spoil it. We may spoil it because I don't want to be so vague that it's irritating, but I'll do my best.
Yeah.
Okay. So the three that came to mind, the first one was the pregnant scissor cutting scene in Inside.
Yeah.
That was pretty gross. Also, I've talked about this before, and Tawny, I mean, you win. You succeeded. You brought something to me that is forever burned into my head. And it is the triangle head skin ripping scene from Silent Hill. That was the first thing, actually. The very first thing that came to my head was that. And then as I thought more, I was like, oh, the Inside, of course. I got to mention that. And last but not least, because it's something that stuck into my head, was the stairs decapitation dresser scene from High Tension.
Oh, shit. Yeah. That's a great one.
So those are my three. I had, they all affected me the same, just like kind of seared into my head. Actually, the latter two, probably even more than Inside, but yeah.
Wow. Okay. So I had the same first thought. My first thought, even when I read it, was scissors, Inside, for sure. And then my second one was like, okay, scissors to head from Inside. And I don't know if I mean, part of me thinks it's like maybe because it's the most recent movie that we've watched, but also, and I mentioned this in our episode, it is the most graphic, gory movie I think I've ever watched. Maybe. And so I think that's why, is it sticks out to me. Everything else is kind of a blur. Like nothing, I could not think of anything else that stuck out to me. Maybe, except Audition. Maybe, but like, it doesn't hold I don't know. I mean, I love that movie, obviously, but it didn't hold the same, like, really stuck in my head, like, that is fucking gross, or I found myself like really cringing or something. So like Inside takes it for me, but I think the dresser for High Tension deserves an honorable mention from me as well.
Yeah, nice.
That was good. I forgot about that one. Halloween Kills had a lot of fucking crazy shit, but
oh, that's right.
Yeah. But I don't know. It just doesn't. It's like, it feels like shallow. It doesn't hold the same weight that I feel like other gory kill scenes do, I guess.
Yeah, like those things, like they are burned into my brain. And so for whatever reason, they were impactful to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When I saw them.
Yeah.
I mean, I think about Pyramid Head a lot.
That makes sense, because that one is pretty graphic. I forget about it because I've watched that movie so many times and I love it. I love that scene, but I just forget, you know? It's not as fresh in my brain. Okay, so moving on to our next question. Jessica, our patron from So Many Creations, is her handle on Instagram if you want to go check out her stuff. She asked about our friendship backstory. And I know we've shared this a couple of times, but for anybody who hasn't listened to those episodes, which is highly likely, we can talk about it again.
Yay.
Yeah.
Friends. We're going on, will it be 3 years or 2 years? I feel like I've known you forever.
2?
Because I was going to say 3 years coming up here at the end of January, beginning of February, but you're right. Only 2 years.
We met in the beginning of 2020. And we met and started talking. We were in a business course together. So we had taken a course and we got put in a pod together just by fate and hung out, talked for several months before we even realized that we both had a love of horror. And once we discovered that, the rest was history. And we were like, let's fucking do a podcast, obviously. And because Felicia had already started her own podcast. And she had the knowledge and the background to know what to do there. So that's kind of where it all started. And we just like blindly, threw everything together in like 48 hours. Like we got super stoked. We were like, yeah, let's fucking do it. What should our name be? Like, what should we do? Where should it be? What should our first episode be? Like, we just panicked, created everything in a couple of days. And yeah, I'm so glad. It was the best decision ever, probably.
Yeah. This is one, like, I looked at a lot of different things. We really were delving into our passions and what do we want to do? And this is, and I explored a lot of things, but this is one consistent thing. Like, I literally, with this whole simplicity thing, when I mentioned the podcast, I said it in kind of a clunky way, but I thought to myself, this is what, like, if I could just do this, like if we just did this and this is what I did full time, I would be very fulfilled, be very happy. It's been such a blast, such a fun ride. And just in case nobody has heard it, we have not met each other in person.
Yeah, still
haven't met each other in person. So can't wait for that.
That'll I know.
Be epic.
Obviously we want to. It's just, how do we make it work with COVID and traveling and all of that?
Yeah. The years just went by, and in COVID, obviously everyone knows it was really difficult, with travel and everything. So we want to meet in person, of course. It's going to be epic when we record in person. I wish we can record always in person. Like, I wish that we lived in the same city so that we could, get together and record. And that would just be next level. Can you imagine? Like, you're sitting right there and we're fucking talking and shit and drinking crazy. And sitting. That'd be fucking crazy.
It's so weird. It's totally different, probably, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, thank God we live in such a connected society that we are able to do this online. It's really been fun. So
yeah, it's been a blast. It's been the best. I think it's the best part of my year.
Yeah, I
has
agree.
Been doing this podcast with you and all the people we meet and movies we watch.
Yes. The connections we make, the messages we get, like, all of that is really incredible. And it does sort of feel like it's the first year, even though we're going on a year and a half right now. But the first half of a year, for some reason, just feels, it doesn't feel as like, it doesn't feel complete, I guess, probably because it's a half a year. So it feels like this is our first year, even though we have surpassed that. And Jade said the same thing. He was like, it feels like you guys are going on your first year, So
we are over 9,000 downloads.
Yes. Yeah. 9,000 and what was it? Like 40?
Fucking crazy, dude. I remember when we were so excited, we had 50 people that listened to us because we didn't have 50 friends that knew about it.
I've talked about this before and I'll say it again. I remember when we had 36 downloads and I was like freaking out. Like, I was like, I was like doing the math. I was like, okay, I have like, one or two friends that maybe have downloaded our first like 7 episodes, 5 or 7 episodes. Felicia has like, 5 people that have downloaded. I don't remember the exact math, so forgive me. But I was like adding it up and I was like, that's still only like 20 downloads. Like, who are these other like potentially 15 people who have downloaded 1 episode? That's fucking crazy. Like, I couldn't fathom it. And now we're at like 9,000. We're so close to 10,000. I mean, it's just crazy.
It says a lot that when I go out into the world, if I go to my husband's corporate work parties, or if I'm anywhere out in the world and someone says, what do you do? I'm a podcaster. And my podcast is Two Chicks and a Horror Flick. I've narrowed everything down that I do. My day job, whatever it is, I'm a podcaster. It's called Two Chicks and a Horror Flick. And then I spend the rest of the time talking about that. That says a lot. That says a lot.
For some reason, I'm weirdly embarrassed to talk about it. Like,
why? People have such amazing responses to it.
I know. And that's fun. But I don't know where it comes from. I think it's like, I don't want to talk about myself too much. I don't want to.
Well, no, if somebody says, though, what do you do?
Yeah. I mean, but the other thing is, too, I really haven't been in many situations like we were talking about earlier. Like, I haven't been out. I haven't been, like, literally. I mean, I think that's happened a couple times this year. One was Jade talking to people. The other one was me. We went over to buy some stuff from this little, like, holiday pop-up shop in our apartment complex thing, like their, what is it called? Clubhouse or whatever. Mm-hmm. And somebody was there. It was one of Jade's coworkers' sister, actually. And she was like, oh, yeah, I heard that you do a podcast. And I was like, oh, yeah. And she's like, what's the name? And it's always like embarrassing to say the name even.
Why? People love it.
I don't know.
Fucking people love it. Whenever I tell them Two Chicks and a Horror Flick, guaranteed every time somebody's going to say, that is an amazing name.
I know. And I think that's why it's embarrassing, because then it's like, I don't know what to say back to that. You know, like I'm like, thanks.
2 Chicks and a Horse. Like, that's an amazing name. Thank you so much. I'm super proud of it because it's super fucking fun.
Yeah.
There you go, Tawny.
I need to work on, I think, the confidence, the unapologeticness, you know, because I'm obviously excited. I do love to talk to people about it and horror movies and stuff. I don't know. There's some sort of embarrassment that I have
There
about it.
shouldn't be. It is legit. Like, we fucking put a lot into this podcast. We love it. We don't treat it like a little, fucking every once in a while half-ass sort of thing. We run it like a business. We put our all into it. I love it. Fucking every single new hire class that I have, because my day job is a corporate trainer, but every single new hire class I have, I go, oh, everyone, let's do a fun fact. And I'm like, I'll start. My fun fact is,
no shame.
I have a podcast with my best friend. It is 2 Chicks and a Horror Flick. We have over 9,000 downloads or whatever the current is, and we're growing steadily. It's awesome, and it's so much fun.
Yeah.
And then we put the 2 Chicks and a Horror Flick link inside the chat.
Boom. Follow us on Instagram at 2 Chicks and a Horror Flick.
Yep.
Shameless plug. Yeah.
Absolutely shameless.
That is crazy. It's crazy to think, how big it is.
Can that be a New Year's resolution? We create something epic, and I want you to share it loud and proud.
Yeah, I should. I just am not in a position ever to be talking to new people, but
whenever you are.
Dude, because I'm telling you, I've been waiting for the day that I'm in a situation where they're like, give us a fun fact. And I swear to God, I haven't had one. In a year and a half, there has not been a moment for me to be like,
here's my fun fact. That's Tawny's New Year's resolution. She's gonna find ways to work it in.
Yeah, and be confident about it. I don't know.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm very weird. I got a lot of weird shit going on about it. I don't know. Mentally, but I'll work on it. I'm working on it.
Yeah. How about when we hit 10,000 downloads? Are you going to feel legit enough?
I fucking should, dude.
We have a nice following of, I think, 1,050 followers on Instagram, but almost at 10,000 downloads, dude. That's fucking legit.
I know. Yeah. It's not that I'm like, I feel like we don't seem legit. Like, that's not what it is. I think it's more about like, I don't know. It's like, I don't want to have the attention on me or something. I don't know. It's weird. I don't know how to describe. I honestly I have to figure out like what it is about it.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah.
And
it's so fun because when I was at my husband's holiday party or President's Club party, his boss knows our podcast and subscribes. And so he was like, oh, this is Steve. This is Steve's wife. She does the podcast, 2 Chicks and a Horror Flick. He introduced me to everybody that way.
Yeah.
So even people who didn't like, either like, oh, I don't know, I don't like horror movies, they engaged in conversations about it. And it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like my family was like, how's that going? How's your podcast going? I'm like, oh, it's going well. It's going really well. Like we're almost to 10,000 downloads. I hadn't checked the numbers at that point. So I was like, I think we're at like 8,000, like last I checked, we're at like almost 80 episodes. This will be, technically 78, but I don't know if we're going to give it a number because it's not about a movie. But I was like, so yeah, it's going well. I think it's like, I don't know what to say about it. But I love fucking talking to people about horror movies. Like, we went to visit some of my other family while we were in Colorado. My cousin Kendall and her husband John. Hello, if you're listening to this. And we were like talking to them about, because they like horror movies too. And they were like, oh, we listened to your podcast. And I was like, no way. I was like, did you really? Like, that's crazy. Let's talk about movies. So for the next like 30 fucking minutes, we were like, I was just like, breathless, like talking, like, did you see this? Did you see this? What did you think about that? I saw that too. I didn't like it. Oh, I haven't seen that. What did you think about it? What was it like? Blah, blah, blah. Like, that's like my favorite conversation to have ever is, what have you been watching? What did you like about it? Dislike? Tell me about it, So that was like really, really, really fun to chat with them about it. But it's like I don't know. I'll stop talking about it, but.
Oh, man.
Okay, so next question, also from Jessica. What movies are you looking forward to this upcoming year? I'm going to let you go first.
All right. So, an older movie that I'm dying to see that I made through a whole nother year without watching, but I would like to see is The Witch. I'd like to see that at some point. And so that's one. But for new movies that are coming out in 2022, I did take a look and I watched the trailers for all the ones that looked interesting. I, of course, want to see Jurassic World Dominion. I am TT and I are super excited about that. So cannot wait. I also want to see Halloween Ends just because it's part of the Halloween franchise. It's not like I'm super excited to see it. Especially if it's the ending, I would like to see it.
Yeah.
So that's coming out.
Doubtful, but okay.
Yeah. I watched the Scream trailer and that one looked pretty good. So I'm excited to see Scream. There's one called You Won't Be Alone and it looks weird AF. And it's like this, I don't even know. It has very much the vibe of movies like The Witch, like this, or Midsommar. Not if you hated Midsommar, Josh. I don't want you to be like, oh, fuck it. I don't want to watch You Won't Be Alone. I just mean the vibe of it. It looks weird and creepy. I want to see Nope. It's about aliens. Yeah. And so I'm really excited. I love alien movies. Everyone knows I love aliens. And then I just have two more, Salem's Lot.
Oh,
they really didn't have anything about it. I couldn't see a trailer or anything like that, but Salem's Lot is slated to be released. So I'm excited about that, Stephen King.
Interesting.
But yeah, they didn't have anything, I think, because it's later in 2022. So they didn't even have like a trailer yet.
Oh, okay.
So we'll see. And last but not least, Everything Everywhere All at Once. So this looks like this whole idea of like manifesting and parallel universes, everything existing all at once. And it has the woman from, she's from a lot, but this is the first thing coming to my head. Crazy Rich Asians. The mom, I don't know if you've seen that movie, but the mom in that movie, I'm sure she's done a ton of other stuff too. She's like the main character. And I really don't even know how to describe it, but I love that type of shit. This sort of, cerebral, opening different dimensions. But it looks fun. It also looked kind of funny or in like, I don't know. So anything that's what I'm excited to see.
Okay. I don't really have anything. I think Hocus Pocus 2 is supposed to come out in 2022. I'm excited about that.
Oh yeah, I did see that.
If it doesn't get delayed. I wouldn't say I'm excited about it, but I'm intrigued by the new Scream movie because it looks from the trailer like more serious than
scary.
Than like poking fun. It is in the Scream franchise, so I cannot imagine that it's going to get too far away from its roots of, kind of poking fun at the genre as a whole. So I don't know, but I'm intrigued by that. Aside from that, I really don't have anything. And I think we've talked about this before. I don't really keep up on new movies. Like it's just that if I casually hear about something or if there's something that I'm really excited about that I know about that's going to come up, that's when I know. But I don't really have anything that I'm like excited to watch or whatever. Like even this last batch of horror movies, I feel like there was the Lamb that came out and Antlers and another movie that we hadn't heard anything about. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I'm just like, it seems like they're not getting great reviews and it doesn't seem exciting to watch. So
Lamb, that's another one. That's what that You Won't Be Alone, that vibe, The Witch, Lamb, that sort of vibe. Yeah. Well, if I was to say a movie that I was legit excited about, it's fucking Jurassic World.
Yeah.
TT and I saw that was coming out and we've watched the trailer so many times. We're very excited to watch. We love those dinos.
Yeah.
The other ones I did research. I looked at all the different movies coming out and watched all the trailers and just wrote down ones as like, oh, this looks interesting. This looks interesting. But balls to the wall, excited for Jurassic World.
Jurassic World.
Yes.
World. I am excited. This is not, I mean, it's video game related, but I'm stoked for Elden Ring, which is, if you didn't know, I'm a huge Dark Souls fan. I'm not a big gamer. I don't play a ton of video games, but when I do, it's fucking Dark Souls. So Elden Ring is the newest. It's not Dark Souls really, but it's like the same, it's based on the same set of things, just like different fucking names. So instead of a bonfire, you have something else, but it's like the same concept of those games. And that comes out, I think, at the end of, or maybe the beginning of January, February 2022. So I'm probably going to like forget all about reading, forget all about watching stuff, and just play that video game for the next like 3 to 6 months, maybe. So I don't know.
Nice.
Hit me up on whatever. Hopefully it's cross-platform. I actually don't know, because you can play online with people. And Jade and I are kind of hoping that we can play online together. Like he can be on the computer and I can be on the Xbox in the living room. We'll see. I don't know if that's actually something that we can do, but I'm very excited for that.
Nice.
Yeah.
It is exciting.
Okay, next up, we have another Patreon person, Matt. His handle is MattFlower182. So he asked, what movie you watched this year that stuck with you the most?
Yes, well, everyone asks good questions. His questions really made me think a lot.
Yeah.
And so the movie that I put, because I thought about everything, was High Tension. And the reason I put High Tension because it first of all sparked this love for a new genre in me that became kind of an addiction. So I loved it that. And I also, because if it would have ended differently, I would have put this as my favorite movie. One of my very favorite movies. I loved it. It was scary. I mean, if you really want to hear all the things I loved about it, you can listen to our episode. But I really, really enjoyed it. It was just the ending that I was disappointed by. And I know that's a big thing, but I feel like, gosh, if it just would have had a different ending. And so obviously I have the most conflict with it as well, because I loved it so much all the way up to the ending. So I would have to say High Tension.
Okay. I am going to say Audition. Because it just, I mean, it's the perfect definition of it stuck with me. Like I thought about it for weeks and weeks, and I still think about it, and it blew my mind. I loved it. There's a lot to unpack in the movie. That's the perfect definition. It stuck with me. Like I won't stop thinking about that movie, I think, for a long time.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that's what it is for me.
Nice. That's a good one. That one did come to my mind.
Yeah. What about favorite horror film of the year?
So my favorite horror film, there was two that I had a really hard time. I had a really hard time unpacking them. So maybe this will help, or I'll just give you two. It was Chucky and It. And this is why. It, I gave a 5. And I enjoyed it so much. And it's Stephen King. And I didn't really have high hopes for it. I don't know why. I don't know why. I went into it thinking,
it's a difficult story to tell, I think.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm going to like this. And I really, really enjoyed it. I thought it was excellently done. Chucky is on there because it blew my mind how much I loved that freaking movie. I had such a fun time watching it. And then it propelled me into watching all of them. Yeah. Watching all of the Chuckies and starting the series. So that's a good fucking movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There was so much enjoyment I got from watching that movie, and so much, I even have it now as I'm talking, like this energy from experiencing this movie again and then watching all the other movies. And then I shared it with TT. She watched some of them with me as well. She's a Chucky lover. So there was this whole experience. So now actually I'm going to say Chucky was my favorite, but I am going to have it there as well because I really enjoyed that one.
Okay. And I'm going to take this moment because it's relevant to show you that I was gifted for Christmas my own VHS of Child's Play 1, 2, 3, and 4. You can see. I posted a picture of this on our Instagram and on our Discord. But this is it. My mom found it, wrapped it up, gave it to me. Great gift.
That is so cool. That is so cool.
Look, dude, I think it's even rewound. Like, it's been a while since I've looked at a VHS, but I'm pretty sure this is rewound because all the tape is on the left instead of the right.
It's ready. It's ready to watch.
I can't even watch it. I don't even know. I don't have a VCR. But at some point, it's just cool decor.
You should put that in a shadow box. Yeah, you should. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. So very exciting there. And I have another Child's Play related thing. So this was a few months ago, but we got an email from someone. And like, people send us emails sometimes, but people don't send us emails like this. And so we got an email from Pat, and it was just the most delightful thing I've ever read in my entire life. And I was like, can I read this on the podcast? Because I want to. I don't know when we're going to do it because we have to find some time that's like, it's relevant. You know, I think this was in the middle of maybe November. And so we were doing all those guest episodes where it just didn't fit. But I just want to read you his whole email because I just got such a kick out of it. And I just want everybody to know, because I think this actually wasn't the first email we got about our Child's Play episode. It was the second.
We got a few. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, maybe we got more and I didn't see it. Or we got extra messages or something. 'Cause there is something about Child's Play as a movie and as a franchise there is this little corner of the horror community that fucking loves it, that obviously we are part of, and other people love it too, and it resonates. So I don't think we've ever gotten this many messages about a movie.
Nope, we haven't.
And I just wanted to read it to you because it's so fucking funny and good. So Pat's email said, Tawny, Felicia, what the fuck? Great beginning. I recently stumbled upon your review of the original Child's Play while tumbling down my own Chucky rabbit hole, and as a self-prescribed Chucky aficionado, I was blown away at the depth of the dive you took into the actual history of America's favorite murdering toy. I have always had so much respect for Don Mancini for seeing his beloved franchise through to the point of a television series, which I am loving so far, by the way. And I only wish that he himself could have heard you two give him his proper respect. I feel like my appreciation for how this weird phenomenon came to fruition has grown tenfold. That's on you. That part made me laugh. Just because Jade and I joke about that all the time. We tell each other, that's on you. Okay, he goes on to say, Chucky has always played a strange, albeit hilarious role in my life. I'll be 34 on New Year's Eve. Holy fucking shit! Happy fucking birthday, Pat!
Happy birthday, Pat! Oh, shit!
I didn't even realize as I was reading it out loud. Happy birthday! You're amazing. I hope you're having fun. I'm going to send you an email. Felicia, don't let me forget. Please. Yes. Let's send him an email back. Okay. I'll be 34 on New Year's Eve, and remember the original Child's Play being one of the first horror movies, if not one of the first movies I ever saw. I was barely over a year old upon its 1989 VHS release, and I definitely remember growing up with that tape in my home. In addition to that, my two older half-sisters used to babysit me when we were younger, and apparently all they ever heard was, I want to watch Chucky too. I think I was more fascinated by it than afraid of it, as my dad, ever the cynic, would mock the films relentlessly, ripping a line from the second installment while being chauffeured in his own car by me from one place to another. Now park this piece of shit. Like anyone who can appreciate the audacity of the absurdity, Chucky holds a funny and special place in our hearts. Kudos to you for validating that weird little feeling. Anyway, thanks for the trip down memory lane. What a fucking cool experience. I just pressed that subscribe button and am officially on board. Your friend to the end, Pat Battle. And then, hold on, that's not all. We have a PS. Those sisters I mentioned babysitting me, they lived on the north shore of Chicago, the Lake Shore. No stranglers that I know of, though. In horror, Chucky precedes Candyman as the OG hometown hero. Thank you, Pat, for that amazing email that will forever live in my heart.
And happy birthday, Pat.
Yes, happy
We
birthday.
love to have
Fucking
you.
cheers. All right. That was a perfect
Awesome.
segue into that. But
That was great.
okay, so favorite horror film of the year for me, I think I'm going to have the same answer. It's Audition. And I have like a ton of other movies that we watched that I loved, but I had already seen. You know what I mean? So I think Audition,
Yeah.
it holds a really special place this year because it was the first time I had ever seen it. And so it was amazing. And it stuck with me. I can't stop thinking about it.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. Like I was looking at The Quiet Place and The Strangers, but these are movies that I've seen already that I really like. But it was something else because there's something else like Audition, seeing that the first time, or what I experienced watching Chucky the first time in years and years and years, that adds that little extra, special something to your experience.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so what was your favorite, also from Matt, non-horror film of the year?
Okay, this is what I've been excited to tell you about. So it's also a new thing I just watched. It came out on Christmas Eve. And I did go through and look at other movies I'd seen and stuff like that. I was trying to remember like other non-horror related things I saw, but I really, 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 really enjoyed this. It's Don't Look Up. And it's with Leonardo DiCaprio, Kate Blanchett, Jennifer Lawrence. First of all, excellently, superbly, phenomenally acted. The acting is out of this world. Fucking great. And I also like the topic. I love the commentary on society and government and media, and I fucking love it. And I've wanted to watch it again, and I've been waiting. My older daughters are getting back today. They went snowboarding with their dad. So they made me promise not to watch it again until they got back. So we're gonna watch it again tonight. But loved that movie. So happy I watched it. I was laying around COVID sick, and I was like, let's just watch this. Turned it on. Watched it with Steve. I loved it. I don't know if he liked the acting. I don't know if he liked as much as I did, but I fucking loved this movie.
Okay. I have not seen it yet.
Also, Jonah Hill.
Yeah.
That's his name, right? Yes. God, that fucking guy. I just love him. Everybody was so, so great. And don't worry, I won't spoil anything. The ending, I just loved it. I just visually loved this movie.
Okay. All right. I'm going to watch it.
It's a Netflix original. So everyone get over to Netflix and take a look.
We know you've got one. You've got a Netflix login.
Yes, you do.
Go get it. I think for me, I feel like I'm forgetting something, but I think I'm going to say Dune because again, it was the only movie that I was willing to go and see twice in the theaters.
That says a lot.
Yeah, it's good. I think I would say I really, really liked it. Maybe I loved it. I don't know. It was interesting. It got me very interested in the lore of all of it. But I swear there's another movie that I watched that I feel like I'm forgetting. I don't know. But shout out. I think this is from last year. I think we talked about it in our year in review. But I keep remembering this movie and being like, oh yeah, that was fucking incredible. And everybody should watch it. The Art of Self-Defense. So I'm giving you a 2020 shout out because we already talked about this being 1 year anyway. If you haven't watched The Art of Self-Defense, you need to go watch it now.
Nice.
Yes. But I think that's where I land. I'll make an amendment if I remember other movies.
No, you just got to keep it for next year.
You're right. No, you're right. You're right. It'll be 2022 tomorrow anyway. So.
Yep.
Okay, so now, are you ready to know about our highest and lowest rated?
Yes. All right, I'm ready.
I'm sure you have like a sense of what they are.
Kind of a sense.
This might shock you.
I'm excited.
You haven't looked, have you? Have you gone and done some research?
No, I was updating our website today. And so I went in and I looked at stats and glanced at the top listened. I didn't look in detail though. I glanced to see that the ones I have on the website are similar. And so I just saw a few of them and went, it looks the same. So I moved on from there.
Okay. So our highest rated of 2021. I'm going to go highest to lowest in that way.
Oh, rated. Oh, I'm such a dork. I was looking at downloads. Yeah, no, so I don't know.
Oh yeah, like what we rated.
What we rated.
And these numbers do include guests. However, I don't know if any of the ones that made these lists have guests. I'll have to remember as we go. So highest rated from top to bottom, Audition, which was a solid golden 5.
Yeah.
Parasite.
Yeah.
5. And It, a 5.
Nice.
Those 3 movies, only 3 this year, did collectively, we give it a solid complete 5.
Nice. Good ones. I agree with all of it still.
And then we have Possessor at number 4 with 4.93. Also very high.
Yeah.
The Grudge, which was 4.88. And A Quiet Place with a 4.882. I left that one in because they were the same score, you know?
Yeah. I agree with all of those still.
Yeah, me too. I feel like now, because I did go back and look from 2020, our golden 5s, and they were Black Christmas, Antichrist, and Hereditary.
Yes, I still totally agree with that.
Me too. So now I feel like we have a list of 6 that are like top, like top recommendations. We both fucking loved these movies, gave them 5s. Those are them, the 6. Okay, sorry. Anyway, back to 2021. Lowest rated. Again, I'm going to start lowest and go in, if that makes sense. Otis came out on top, on bottom. The lowest bottom with 1.13.
Oh, shit.
The lowest rating we've given anything ever. Sorry, Mom and Dad.
Sorry, Mom and Dad.
We hated it. And then we have, and that's the only one that's in a 1 category. Next is in a 2, is The Shining with 2.5.
Oh, shit.
We also hated that. I mean, I hate it. You probably would say you dislike it.
Yeah, I wouldn't say hate.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Sorry, everybody. Goodbye to the half of the people who are going to unsubscribe.
Oh my God.
Kidding. You already know by now if you've gotten to this episode. Next up with a 2.63 is Insidious.
Mm-hmm.
I stand by all these two, you know? They were just not impressive.
The Shining makes me flinch a little, makes me want to give it another chance, but I got to trust myself.
Yeah.
I got to trust myself, you know?
Trust your gut, what you felt immediately. And next up we have Halloween Kills with a 2.72. This movie was pretty fucking bad, dude. I almost think I maybe rated it too high. I was mad. I was pretty mad by the end of this movie. And when I think about movies, because listen, we just at work, before I left work, we did a series of interviews. And in the interviews, we always ask people, what's your favorite movie? What's the movie that you hate? And I was thinking back over my hate experience, like movies that you get to the end of and you're fucking mad that you watched it. And Halloween Kills is up there. It's probably in my top 5 of movies that I got like angry by the end of it.
Otis was number 1 though, probably.
Yeah. Oh yeah. For me personally, I would say Inside Llewyn Davis is number 1. Absolutely hate that movie.
Oh, I don't think I've seen that. I'm in of ones we watched. I don't know what that is.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. Don't watch that one either.
Of the ones we've watched, for sure, it's Otis. Number 2, I don't know. We have a lot of ones that we really hated. Yeah. So hold on, because I'll go back to our 2020. But yeah, so Halloween Kills came out 2.72, which we did with Haley. That's our first one, I think, on this 2021 list that we had a guest. And then we did Friday the 13th, which was a 2.8.
Yeah, and I didn't hate that so bad. There's things I enjoyed about it, but
you saved the score on that one.
Yeah, I bet.
Mhm. Yeah, I think I gave it like a 2. I don't know. But then from 2020, we have like a handful of lower rated ones. Like all of these fit between Otis and The Shining. So
Okay.
from 2020, we have the Poughkeepsie tapes at a 2.
Fucking show. Fuck that movie.
Yeah.
Yes. Ah, now that I remembered it, all the feelings are rushing back.
31 with a 2.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then Pet Sematary with a 2.25. So,
oh, God, that was like fucking soul crushing.
yeah, all of those are lower than The Shining. Again, I agree with that.
Yeah, I agree with that too. I totally agree with that.
So that's that.
I'm excited to know next year on New Year's Eve what we're going to be at.
Me too, because we'll have like another, like 52-ish something movies to add into the scoring. Yeah. But those are our top and lowest picks. Do not watch Otis, the Poughkeepsie tapes, 31, Pet Sematary, or The Shining. That's our stance, okay? But do watch Audition, Parasite, It, Hereditary, Antichrist, Black Christmas. There is definitely a fucking theme here. We obviously love serious, scary, dramatic, thematic, is that the right word? I don't know, movies.
Yeah.
Except for It. It is the one, right? It's the one outlier that's comedic. I mean, Black Christmas has some comedic moments, but It is the only horror comedy to make it in the Golden Fives.
Yeah.
You know how to win our hearts.
Tucker and Dale, but that was a 4. That was in the 4s, I remember.
Yeah. Okay, so now let's talk about podcast stats. We already mentioned a couple of these things. We're 1.5 years old. We have about 9,000 complete downloads. And are you excited to hear our most downloaded episodes?
Yeah, I think I might know, but
I have our top 5.
Okay, I'm ready.
You think you know? Is that what you were looking at?
Well, because I put our most popular episodes on our website. Veronica is one of them. Has to be.
Yeah. I still don't know. I talked about this last year, and I still don't know what happened with the Veronica episode.
It blew up.
Yeah. It's our most downloaded episode by a mile.
Yeah.
We have like 800 downloads on Veronica.
Fucking, yeah, by the longest mile.
Yeah, like the next one is Hereditary with like 190.
Yeah, it's insane. It's insane. I swear, I think it's the true crime element that, people were into looking up and we popped up.
Maybe it's the only one that we've done. But I will also say that last year, I think we did this too. Something like 60-something% of all of the Veronica downloads were from the Netherlands. And guess what? Again, the Netherlands leads out with Veronica at 79%. So like 80% of our downloads on that episode are from the Netherlands.
The Netherlands, we love you.
Yes.
We're coming to visit. It'd be so cool if we had a little reception of the people in the Netherlands that love us. And we're going to go to the Netherlands and enjoy your company and your food.
Yes. Yes, all of it. See the sites.
Is that still? Did you check? Is that still our number one place that people download our episodes at the Netherlands?
Yeah. Well, it's the number one place that people downloaded that specific episode.
That specific. Okay.
Yeah, 79% from the Netherlands. I don't know what the fuck happened. Please tell us. I said this last year. I didn't get any messages. Please, if you're from the Netherlands and you stumbled across our episode, I want to know how. Please, for the love of God, let me know. I'm so curious. I have no idea how this happened. It's very weird. But thank God. I love you. Please keep listening. Subscribe to us. I'm just curious. Yes. How did that happen? So,
yeah, you're right. Because they're actually not United States, Canada, United Kingdom, and Germany and Russia are our top, the people that listen to us. But the Netherlands, you just had a bunch of people.
Yeah.
So that episode. Thank you.
So weird. Yeah. Thank you for listening and downloading. And then the other ones that are top, we have Hereditary, Midsummer, The New Wrong Turn, which really surprised me. I did not think that was going to be that high up just because I don't I didn't feel like that many people watched that movie. And then The Cabin in the Woods.
Mm.
Those
Nice.
last two surprised me.
Yeah.
I mean, Veronica shocks me all the fucking time, but Hereditary and Midsommar are like really popular movies, so those don't surprise me as much. But
yeah, if you like horror movies, you're probably watching those. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. And
I wonder, it'll be very exciting when we have something surpass Veronica.
I was thinking that too. I was like, it'll be an interesting day.
What will it be?
Yeah.
That's my goal now for 2022. To find a movie that'll surpass Veronica. I love that. It's in my top 5. I always recommend that movie. It scared the shit out of me. So
yeah,
glad other people love it.
It's really interesting. So the last thing that I have is just a review that we didn't see until right now because I am not good about checking this. But we got another review on Apple Podcasts from As Above, So Below 02, which fucking shout out. Love that movie. One of my faves. This person says, found you guys while I was listening to every Halloween Kills review I could find. I am a huge Halloween original 1978 fan, and I was very upset, embarrassingly so, at the subpar quality of Halloween Kills. So anyway, I eventually came across your podcast and was happy to hear your analysis. I thought you ladies did a wonderful job, and I am glad I found you. I definitely plan on continuing to listen.
Oh,
thank you.
Oh, I fucking love that. It's just like the greatest feeling that people, I mean, it's just such a great feeling because I love watching scary movies and talking to you about it.
Yeah.
I love this whole process. Then add on, there's other people that also like hearing us talk about it. It is fucking epic. I love it. It's so much fun.
Me too. And the thing that I love is like, you kind of are able to like find a tribe of people in a way. Like you're like, hey, you like the same things we like. Like, welcome to the club, you know, like with Pat, with the Child's Play stuff, you're like, what up, dude? Like, you're fucking part of this. Like, it's all of us. We love this movie. Or like this, where it's like, yes, this movie fucking sucked. Like, we hated it. Let's all just commiserate together and how bad it is. There's something about the camaraderie and the, you know, it's just nice.
Yeah. And we even on the other side, when someone doesn't like it, or does like it, let's say, someone comes to us and is like, I really love The Shining, and this is why. But I understand and agree with the things that you were bringing up on why you didn't like it. And we have a whole conversation about it. And then we all go link arms and skip off into the sunset. Like, we're totally fucking fine that we have different opinions. Cause even you and I do that, you know, like you really like something and I don't, or vice versa. And it's just cool to have the conversation. And then we move on and, you know, we'll reconnect on something we both like at some point.
Yeah, totally. And we can respect each other's opinions on it and like hear it out and get where the other person's coming from. Like we, you know, I think that's why I'm pleasantly surprised that The Cabin in the Woods is so high on our most downloaded, because that's one of those episodes that I think back to, because we recorded with Do I Like This podcast, Ian and Sam, and they love that movie. And I hate that movie. It's one of my like most unpopular opinions. And actually I came around a little bit after the episode, and I think I hate it less. I would say I dislike it now. Because they gave me the space to dislike it. You know, unlike everybody else online and other people's opinions, and you don't get it and blah, blah, blah. Like, they gave me the space to like have my own opinion about it, and that actually made me hate it less, which I know shouldn't be part of my opinion, but it is. I'm a human. Sue me. And so it's nice to have those, you know, opposite ends of the spectrum conversations and still like get where other people are coming from. So I totally agree.
Yeah. If I can give one piece of advice to everybody out there, let people have their own opinion, period. And don't use that whole thing like, oh, you just don't get it, or you don't get it at the level I do. No, that's not the case. Even if I got all the themes and all the things, just didn't hit me the same way it hit you. And it is what it is. You know, just like, let's just fucking talk about it and have some fun.
Yeah, totally. I do want to give it one more shout out to a movie that I didn't get to talk about anywhere else in the episode, and it is fucking Christine. Christine just hit
I love it.
in a way. Nobody asked this question, but I'm going to ask it to me and to you. What was the movie that surprised your ass the most this year in terms of like rating, watching, liking it, or disliking it? And Christine is top of the list for me. I thought I would dislike it. I thought it was going to be dumb and stupid, and it was just one of the most delightful movies that we watched throughout the entire year. And I just was so shocked by that, and I really loved it. And now I keep telling people to watch it, so I had to give an honorable mention. What about you? What surprised you the most either way?
I would have to say Chucky. Because I was excited to watch Christine. And when I went into Chucky, I thought it was going to be silly. And I was hoping I was going to have something good to say about it. So when it was over, I was like, holy shit. I fucking love that movie. It was such a good feeling.
Oh, and I forgot to talk about this, but I did the math about how many movies we watched from different decades.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Are you excited to know about this?
I am very excited.
I don't know why I find this interesting, but I do. And we talked about it last year, so I kept it in this year. The most watched decade for us this year was the 2000s.
Okay.
Yeah, we watched 14 movies from the 2000s, which was kind of interesting. But a close second was the 2010s, it was like 12 movies from the 2010s. Okay. We watched 8 movies from the 2020s, so 2020 and beyond. So that was third place. And our oldest movie that we watched was The Bad Seed, obviously. From, when was that? 1956. That was our oldest to date. So
2 movies that I was pleasantly surprised that you liked, because I thought you would hate, would be The Bad Seed and The Wicker Man.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. The Wicker Man. Yeah.
It's so much fun, dude. I just can't. I had so much fun recording that episode.
Me too.
Dude, it was great. I'll never forget you singing their song.
Oh
my God. It's so good.
It's still stuck in my head, dude. You're right. No. You're right. That one shocked the shit out of me. I'm going to give that a second place in my honorable. Like, that one I did not think that I would like at all. And I really was super pleasantly surprised by that one. It was very fun in some fucking weird way.
Yes, it was.
Oh, I'm glad you reminded me. I forgot about The Wicker Man. So good. For unknown reasons. I agree that backwards, like, I did not expect you to like Child's Play at all. Like, I came fully loaded, ready to talk you into it, and I thought you were going to hate it and it was going to be stupid, and I was like so scared. I was so shocked. And also, on the other end I'm sorry, go ahead. Were you going to say something? I was going
to say, you did bring a lot of research, and then when I was like, I love it, you're like, okay, but just to make sure, I have this research that I want to prove to you.
If you needed any more help to like this, I'm going to give it to you. On the other end of the spectrum, though, I expected you to really fucking like The Dark and the Wicked, and it was like one of those that you fucking hated. Like, I mean, you didn't hate it, but you disliked it strongly. Yeah. And I thought this is going to be right up your alley. It's, what's his name? Brian Bertino. It's this like slow, I thought the whole vibe of it was going to get you, but it didn't.
I wish it did. It did not. I'm trying to think if there was a movie where, I was like, Tawny's going to love this, and you didn't. I can't think of one. I think I lean towards the other side. I think Tawny's going to hate this because of this or that. I might have thought you were going to love something, but nothing comes to mind. But yeah, I remember that you were shocked.
Yeah.
I was too. I really thought I was going to like that.
What a year it has been in movies.
Yeah.
We definitely we did way more guest episodes this year than we did in 2020, which makes sense because it was like a full year. But I mean, I feel like we did a ton of guest movies.
Well, especially after
episodes.
Friendsgiving in November and October, is a big month for horror. And so we did a lot with other people as well. And then we moved into Friendsgiving. And yeah, it felt, especially at the end of the year, but we did sprinkle it out nicely throughout. You're right. We had a lot of different people come on.
Yeah, in the first part of the year. So next year, I mean, Felicia and I have talked about this. We haven't really sat down and made a plan for 2022 and kind of what we're going to do. I'm sure we'll keep you updated as we do. Talk about that and plan it. But we have been like, okay, we got to reel it in on the guesting a little bit because it's just a lot. It's a lot of work. And I feel like with the podcast as it is, like we love it and it's a lot to keep up on by itself. And then on top of that, to have other people on and go on to other people's shows, it kind of adds this extra element that is just a little difficult to work in, I think, as it is, just with our busy schedules and stuff. So that's another thing that we're kind of going back to basics on is like, okay, let's just, temper that a little bit, not Friendsgiving it all throughout 2022, because while that was super fun and I love talking to other people, and I know you do, Felicia, too, mm-hmm. it's an extra level of difficulty, I think, that we want to spread out.
Yeah, we're going to spread it out. We're going to be more cognizant. So we're doing also a lot more shows where it's me and Tawny talking to each other, which I know that you guys love. And then sprinkling out the guests, definitely, because there were periods of time where we were signing up to be on shows and have people on our shows. So there were several weeks we were even recording back to back 2 days a week, or more. Remember? So we are simplicity. Remember, this is our word, simplicity.
Simplicity.
And flow. Simplicity and flow. Sounds like a good year.
Yeah.
We can't say what our next episode will be. Literally, it's the first time me and Tawny talked for almost half the month. Besides about how are you doing? I'm almost dead. Either side.
Yeah.
I can't see. I'm dying, So we don't know what we're going to be doing next, but we can tell you coming up at the end of the month, we will be having a podcast on Elm Street back on our show on the 4th. They'll be coming to record on the 14th. So I'll be towards the end of the month and doing Martyrs. We are very excited to do that movie with them. Cannot wait. And the very last episode of the month, I think, is going to be Seth from a horror movie crew podcast.
Ooh,
so we're excited, but we're still waiting to see what he's going to bring us. So we don't even know the movie. Yeah. That'll be fun.
Excited for January, our birthday month. We're about to be our last year again.
Our birthday month. We don't have a plan for it, but it's our birthday.
I'm 30. Felicia's 44.
That's right, because the year combined, remember? Yeah.
We're just running it back. We're running the clock back 1 year. So yeah, that'll be super fun.
Yeah, maybe we'll pick movies again that we want to see. Well, 2 movies. Yeah. Because we have guests picking the other movies.
That's my fucking vote, dude. And I know also last one that I am going to throw in that I forgot. In response to Matt's question, favorite horror film of the year. One of my favorite horror films of the year was one that we didn't talk about, and it was Caveat. And
that's right.
The moment I get to pick the next movie we watch, it's going to be that. So just prepare your butthole.
No, let's just do it. Why don't we just do it? Let's just do it. Okay. For the first 2 movies of January, will just be our picks.
Okay. Our top. We're just purely because I want to picks.
Yes. The first thing that comes to my mind, I just don't know. And I hope it's good because I just have wanted to watch The Witch.
Oh, so yeah.
I just want to watch it so bad. But I'm not nailing that down right now. Now that I get to pick one movie, I got to go look.
I mean, think about it. Sleep on it. But I'm down.
Oh, you're down?
Yeah.
Okay. You know what? Let's do it. I mean, it's the beginning of the year. I've wanted to watch it for over a year. So, and it's just never come up.
Okay.
So, yeah, The Witch. We're going to do The Witch and Caveat.
Oh, hell yeah. Okay. Those are,
There we go.
we figured it out. We planned it live.
The Witch, Caveat, Martyrs, and then whatever Seth brings.
No, this is going to be a dark month. This is going to be a dark. But now, save us, Seth. Please give us something light.
What do you want to watch next? What do you want to watch first?
It doesn't matter to me.
Okay, we'll figure that out and we'll let you know.
Yeah. The details, figure it out later. I guess that's it for 2021.
God. Well, cheers to another year together.
Cheers.
It's been the best.
The best ever.
I can't wait to see how this podcast grows. We're going to hit 10,000. We're going to hit over 10,000 downloads next month. I mean, I'm sorry. Well, shit. There we go. I just put it out in the universe.
Okay.
There we
she
go.
declared it.
I meant to say next year, but fuck it. The universe spoke through me. It was like, nah, bitch, next month. That's when it's going to happen.
January.
And just, it's going to be great. If I could say one thing for all of you listeners that love us, if you want to, we would love it if you engaged with us directly in our horror community on Discord. We love it. And it's so fun. We'll go in there and we have a few people that are really active and we truly appreciate it. We just love if it's your thing and you like messaging or, what have you on your own terms. We love having horror discussions, true crime discussions, and any discussions. Let's build a horror community together. And I'm really excited about that. So anybody we can kind of nudge to, it's free. It's free.
Yeah.
Link in our bio.
Yes. We've talked about this a little bit, but we haven't talked about, again, 2022 and what we want to do moving forward and all that. But one of the top things on my list is I do want there to be this engagement, a community, somewhere to go and talk about stuff and bounce shit off of other people. And I want that to be our Discord. And I just have had a hard time being in there and being, active on it and stuff. But definitely, we love being the people that you can talk to about this kind of shit. If you don't have that many friends or no friends who like horror or whatever, come and chat with us. Even if it's not on Discord, if it's Instagram, if you want to send us an email, do it. 2chicksandhorrorflick@gmail.com. Everything is fair game. Send us some shit. Send us your recommendations, all of it. We do enjoy interacting, hearing from people. It's great.
Yeah. Yep. I agree. And we're going to get Tawny to talk about it more.
Yes. Less embarrassed. More, yeah. And then the last thing that I have to say that I just want to throw out is if you want to do some shit, if you want to make a podcast or whatever, just fucking do it. Don't be afraid on that same note where I'm embarrassed to talk about my own podcast. Let me just preach to you.
At least she does it.
This has been the most fun thing over the last year and a half that I've done, and it's incredible. And so it's so much easier. I mean, you can make it really hard. That's the thing, is it can be really hard, or you can just be like, fuck it, I'm going to find an easy way to do this. Let's fucking do it. So just do it. Whatever you want to do, whatever you want to start, do it.
Yeah. Surrender and flow. Let's let the universe take you along. I totally agree. Whatever you want to do it. If you want to do a podcast, because I see this in podcast groups I'm in, there'll be people going, oh, but I need to have this many recorded and and this and and that and this. And I'm not mocking you, because that's where, that's where I was when I first started a podcast as well. I was way overthinking it. And then finally I just fucking said shit and posted it and went, there it goes.
Fuck the rules.
Yeah, you don't need 3 or 5 pre-recorded. If you want to have a whole season pre-recorded, fine. Do it however the fuck you want to do it. Just do it. I would say it's the consistency, because the people know you're going to show up. And that's that. And just do it. Whatever it is you want to talk about, there's someone else out there that wants to hear you talk about it 100%.
Yep. Exactly. So there it is. Go forth.
There it is.
Into 2022.
Go forth.
Whatever you want to do, do it.
Start that podcast.
Yep.
Do that thing.
but also have zero expectations, none.
Just flow.
Just no goals, no expectations. Just do it. I mean, really. That sounds funny and like, there's a dual thing happening there, but it's the best way to go into something.
No, it's really, we've done that and we've just let it flow and not.
Yeah.
Because we found that when we started to go, we need to make sure that we're, commenting this much and hitting this much and doing this benchmark and doing this, then all of a sudden we're like, fuck this. And so we dialed it back. You know what? Fuck that. Let's just show up.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just do what we love and see where it takes us. And we are very, very happy with the results.
Yes, exactly. So do that. We love you.
We love you.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, you're all the best. You can find us at twochicksandahorrorflick.com. That has links to everywhere that you can find us, including that Discord we were talking about and everything else. Also on all social media at Two Chicks and a Horror Flick, except Twitter is at TwoChicksHF. And what else, Tawny?
You can support the show by subscribing and also going to our Patreon. And that's it. We'll let you know what our next movie is.
We love you. Happy New Year.
Yes, be safe. Kayla, we love you. Bye.
And,
oh, shit. It's been so long. I'm out of practice. Felicia's like, what's the thing?
Were we giving that up?
We hope you have such a good night. No nightmares.